chills run down your spine. You break into a cold sweat. Your heart begins to pound. You are afraid tonight. On the scariest places on earth, Greyfriars Cemetery. A haunted abyss of torture, spirit. The Eaton family's night of terror draws near.
I would say, don't do this. Don't do this.
A desert mansion reveals its secrets.
This is a very strange place.
She told me that it pushed her down the stairs.
A nightmare in an Irish castle.
How that man can live in that castle with a little child.
I was scared when I heard about some of the stories.
What makes a place scary? Is it not knowing what lurks around the next corner? At Greyfriars Kirkyard in Edinburgh, Scotland, the world-famous statue of a dog known as Greyfriars Bobby is a benign and welcoming sight. The dog almost seems to be protecting the cemetery. Tourists come from all over to see the statue, but when they enter the graveyard, they're on their own, with nothing to defend them.
Edinburgh, Scotland. Greyfriars Cemetery, known the world over as home to the loyal Scottish Terrier Bobby.
The little dog's buried out there as well. He's about the only nice person in the graveyard.
Greyfriars Cemetery, a haunted abyss of tortured spirit.
Very frightening in there.
No, I wouldn't go in there on my own.
There was something not right, something in that churchyard.
I would not go in there at night on my own, not a chance.
The whole thing kind of freaks me out.
Many visitors have been attacked by evil spirits.
While I've been doing the tours, I've had people coming out with bruises and scratches.
And it was just, I mean, the most terrifying thing. When I think about it now, it still gives me chills.
For almost 400 years, Greyfriars has been a cauldron of diabolical activity.
Greyfriars Graveyard started as a valley and is now a hill. It's basically a mountain of bodies. That's what you're looking at when you see it. There are so many bodies packed into the earth inside the graveyard that when it rains, the water pressure forces them back up again and you find bones coming back through the surface.
In 1649, the Black Plague held Edinburgh in a terrifying grip.
One Victorian estimate is that 2% of the population were buried alive. They were so scared of disease, any excuse you were in the ground. You could faint and wake up in a coffin. And you'd find some coffins in Greyfriars would have little bells inside, so that the person woke up and he had a little bell that he could ring so that people would hear him on the surface, which of course was stupid because he was a few feet under. Nobody was going to hear him.
The plague was just the beginning of Greyfriars' grisly history.
There's a locked section at the back of the graveyard called the Covenanters' Prison.
Covenanters, Scottish Protestants who defied King Charles I.
He was trying to impose English-style worship on Scotland. The Scots weren't having it. The ones who absolutely refused to recant their position were executed just outside Greyfriars Wall and then buried back inside again.
In 1998, the tormented spirits of Greyfriars were unleashed by an uninvited guest.
Apparently what happened was that late at night, raining, a homeless guy came into the graveyard looking for somewhere to shelter. He crawled into one of these to get out of the rain, found a grill in the floor. You know, he's a brave guy. He lifts up the grill and goes down. There's a flight of stairs. He goes down the stairs, and he fell through a partition, a sort of wooden covering on the floor of the tomb, and into another smaller room underneath. And the room is filled with bodies. We're talking arms, legs, heads, the works. Of course, this somewhat scares him. He shoots back out of the tomb, crawls back through, and away he goes.
The vagrant had cracked open the tomb of George Mackenzie, releasing a spirit that had been trapped for 3 centuries.
Now, this horrible resonating tomb is the tomb of George Mackenzie, or Bloody Mackenzie.
Bloody George Mackenzie. The man who turned a churchyard into a death camp.
One of the fascinating things about Greyfriars is that the man responsible for 18,000 Covenanter deaths, George Mackenzie, is buried right next to the men that he killed.
He's got a very big, grand tomb, about maybe, what's that, 30 yards from where he committed all those atrocities against the Covenanters.
At night, George Mackenzie posted 2 guards on the gates of the Covenanters' prison. Everyone was made to lie on the ground inside. We're talking in wintertime, frost. If anyone stood up, they had 2 snipers at the gates to shoot at them.
So that would suggest to me there's a bit of bad karma.
Since the disturbance of the crypt, 63 visitors have been mysteriously attacked near Mackenzie's tomb.
People go in, they fall down unconscious, they come out scratched, they come out cut. There's no doubt about it.
2 young women came to Greyfriars as doubters, but left as believers.
I've always been sceptical towards ghosts, supernatural. I just thought a bit of a laugh, go on a tour, hear the stories and go and laugh about it in the pub afterwards. We went around Edinburgh, we heard little bits of stories about old ghost stories and things, and then we ended up at Greyfriars Kirkyard.
We were in the graveyard, and at first it was all, quite fun. Everyone was kind of giggling and making jokes about it and everything, and we went in and the guy was telling stories, and I started to feel a bit nervous at this point, having been a complete sceptic, thinking nothing's going to happen, it's going to be fine, of course.
There was something not right. It's difficult to put your finger on it. Everyone was nervous.
I can't really describe the feeling. It was just a feeling of unease.
And just as we got towards the doorway of the tomb, everybody got this, it was almost like a feeling of electricity going through people. It was really made just jump. It was a horrible, horrible experience.
It started to get cold, basically, really cold. And I was kind of clinging to my mum at this point. And then, all at once, I felt this, it was like someone had brushed me down my arm. And I felt really sick. And I just was like, Mum, I'm getting out of here, I have to go. Ran out the gates, and I was kind of out here like this.
And this woman just went smack. She hit the ground and passed out.
And the next day, I woke up in the morning, and when I looked in the mirror, I had bruises on my face, like someone had scraped my face like that, so it was like finger marks down my face, and a scratch, kind of red scratch mark down my arm. And I'm never, ever going to do anything like that ever again.
Reverend Colin Grant was immediately summoned to exorcise the demons.
My father found when he went there was a vast combination of different manifestations and feelings.
2 local newspaper reporters attended the exorcism.
We met Colin Grant must have been about 11:30 at night, and just outside the gates of the graveyard.
And it was quite creepy. The graveyard was obviously very black, and the moon was hidden, and the wind had whipped up.
He went round, set up every single small candle and put them in a big circle.
He then put 2 crosses inside that circle as a strong protection against any malevolence that was close by.
And he turned around and said to me, "You look scared." And I suppose I was a wee bit. I was a bit nervous and a bit kind of, wasn't quite sure what to expect or what was going to happen.
And one of the odd